What's up guys, Todd here. Typically on this channel, I do fishing vlogs where I take you fishing, I give a few little tips and tricks as I'm catching fish, and I'm just kind of recording my experience and helping you see and feel what I am when I'm out there on the water. But I've had a lot of requests to do a beginner series and kind of some tutorial videos, which not in my comfort zone. I haven't done this before, so it might be kind of weird, so bear with me. But I think it'll be pretty good. I feel like I have some information that'll be helpful for someone just getting into the sport. This video of this series is gonna be targeted towards how to read the water. When you first get to a new river, you're just gonna be overwhelmed. You're gonna get there, you're gonna look out, you're gonna see a bunch of water, you know there's fish in it, but what do you do next? So the goal of this video is to show you my process of arriving at a new location to fish until when I leave, how I scope it out, how I scan it out, what I look for in the search, the pursuit of some nice juicy fish. So before we actually hit the water with some practical stuff, I wanted to bust out the handy dandy whiteboard. Whenever I get to a new river, I'm looking for a few things. I'm looking for structure. Say the current's pushing this way, you know, I'm standing up in here somewhere on the bank. Say rocks or trees or who knows what, a car, any garbage that's in the water sticking out the top is gonna be creating kind of an eddy right behind it. You know, the water's hitting something and breaking and kind of meets back up around it. So there's gonna be a little pocket of slow water in the midst of current. And so big fish are hanging out behind that rock, using it as kind of a break in the current. So he's hanging out there. As little fish swim by or bugs float around him, he can go out into the main current and grab whatever it is, whatever bait fish or bug off the top or whatever. He can move back and forth and grab stuff while having that kind of home base, not requiring as much energy to maintain it. There's a pretty good chance there's gonna be fish hiding out in that slack water. You're gonna see some ripply stuff. You know, you'll probably see some rocks poking out, and you know, that's fairly shallow. And then you'll probably see some slower looking stuff where the water's still moving, but it's pretty, it almost looks calm on the surface. And that's because it's deeper, so there's not rocks causing that disturbance on the top of the water. In between those areas, you know it's going from deep to shallow or vice versa. They like that transition water between fast and slow and between deep and shallow. Those are awesome points for fish to be. So when I get to this, you know, I'm going to the river today to a new spot. There's a dam north of me that I'm gonna try. When I get there, I'm gonna look for those things. I'm gonna look for structure in the water, big rocks or trees or things sticking out of the water, creating those that breakwater where fish can hang out. And I'm gonna look for that transition water between fast and slow and shallow or ripply and deep pockets. So that's where we'll start today. That's enough drawing. Let's hit the water and I'll just walk you guys through what we do. So let's do it. Well, I'm here. This is where I'm gonna be hitting it today. So it looks pretty good. I'm just checking out the water. If you look out over this way, we've got this power plant and that runs the dam, and the dam's over here. Right here, that's awesome. That little spillway right there, that's gonna be good. You know, churning up that water, it's bringing in bugs and nutrient stuff, which attracts small fish, which obviously then attracts big. There's some of that seam water that I was talking about that I'll definitely fish a little bit. There's all this real calm stuff, and then out here there's a lot of ripples, like a lot of kind of rough stuff. So out there it's gonna be pretty shallow. Right here's probably pretty deep. So I'm gonna expect to catch fish somewhere kind of in this line right here. This spot looks awesome. I'm really pumped. I'm gonna grab my waders and we'll start fishing. Alrighty, so this is what I got with me today. I got my boots, my waders, I brought my rod. This is my light action 7-foot with the spinning reel on it, 6-pound test line, and that little Castmaster I showed you earlier. I've got my camera bag with all my camera stuff in it, landing net, and then I brought my forceps and clippers, and just a small tackle box with, I've got a little spoon in here, a couple different Rapalas, and some little spinners and stuff. And that's usually what I'll do when I hit a new body of water. I'll just bring a small tackle box, try to travel light so I can really move around a lot, try a bunch of different stuff, and that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna start with that Castmaster. I'm gonna stick with it for probably about an hour. If I'm not catching stuff, then I'll switch it up, and I'm gonna be moving a bunch this whole time, so should be pretty good.
Oh yeah. Ooh, good fish. Two! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
Look at that guy. That was freaking wild. I hooked up a super nice fish, ended up landing it, letting it go, swam off good. But I took off my waders and I was wearing my shoes, so I'm like fighting it, like trying to take off my socks and shoes, and then I'm like bumping around the rocks, like trying not to cut my feet. Dope though, really nice fish. I went and got my waders back on after that last fish. This spot turned out pretty good. Caught a few out of here. I'm gonna move downriver a little bit. It worked, working the seam. So I'm gonna head downriver and I'll bring you guys with.
Fish on. Doesn't feel bad, not huge, but not bad either. So as I'm fighting him, I'm trying to pull him out of the current. It'll be a lot easier to land him in the slow stuff. And it's a lot easier to fight him downstream too, because then I'm just letting the current wear him out. Oh dang, not a bad fish. Ooh, not a bad fish at all. Whew.
Not bad at all. So freaking dark. That's a fish right there. Beautiful brown. Caught on the Rapala. Man, that's awesome. I'm gonna let this guy go. Look at that guy. Chunk. That's freaking dope. Woo! That's it for today's video. In conclusion, do your research beforehand. Make sure you're allowed to fish there. Make sure you have a license. Get out there, move a lot, try new stuff. When you first get there, just watch and see if you see any fish jumping and kind of look for those seams. It pays to switch it up. I switched a couple different times today. Caught a few good ones on the Castmaster, and then this that tank on the Rapala. What else can be said? Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something new, please consider subscribing. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Anything you would like to see, any specific questions you have that I can address. Thank you, and go catch some fish. Peace.